I'm doing this now before I forget.
Miaou.
Just to show the whole tree. Because that's what it's called in the files. there you are. This dusk. And you might see this black screen and think, okay, so I'm still in zone 3. But but the screen must be tinted all the way black so I can't see. So in order to force me to reload my save. However, this is actually not the case. Not in Sincere Deceit anyway. If I remember correctly, I forgot to check this. But if you no clip, I'm just doing this ahead of time because, and you see these eyes and you're like, okay, so I'm guessing I'm over in the H hallway now. Why did he teleport me in the wall on the H hallway? And then you go in here and stuff, and you're like, wait, if you already played the game, you're like, wait, why the fuck did it teleport me all the way to layer 2 of the tower in area 3? Why did it do that? And I don't know why it does this, because in Find Me, if I'm remembering correctly, it teleports you in front of the door in the brick maze. That's what that area with that dusk is called. And it has the screen tinted black so you can't see, which is basically functioning the same as teleports you into a wall, so the screen looks black. I don't know why in Sincere Deceit they had to have made the deliberate decision to instead have that dusk teleport you to layer 2 of the tower in area 3 of red zone 3. I'm just completely perplexed by this, because in Find Me it just teleports you to the beginning of the brick maze, but your screen's tinted black so you can't see, so you have to reload your save anyway. I mean, sure, you could, this is technically a quote-unquote speedrun strat. You could just jump all the way to layer 2 of the tower, but at that point you might as well just no clip all the way to the prison anyway, in order to force the tower to rise, not go through the majority of the game just to get to red. Imperial Zone 3 just turned red, and then no clip to that dusk, and then interact with it to get the repent binary screen, and then teleport to layer 2. There's no reason to just do that. I think this dusk originally in Find Me was just supposed to be a little hint for the repent screen before alongside the glitch in the residential district, but they just left it in because it's not, because back then Find Me was more meta than Sincere Deceit is in this way. Find Me was more aware of it being a game rather than something immersive. And that dusk was left in, I think. That was something I added into 1.1.2 from 1.1.3. Enox, and later, as you will probably see, another bosses defeat animations that do not exist in 1.1.2 were added because I like them so much. Also, I had to adjust Enoch's HP because he has more HP in 1.1.3 than 1.1.2. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about Lugosi is that mostly when you're doing a red route, but even if you're doing a mixed hues, what I call it, mixed hues run, where you give the Guardians some of the brand items, but not all of them, and for some of them you keep them. When you talk to Lugosi after coming back from a zone, he sneaks you some, I think, fortune tickets without you knowing. Your fortune ticket count increases, but I forgot to check before I talked to him. But he does give you tickets. If you're doing a red route, he gives you the most. But if you're doing mixed hues, depending on how many brands you keep, determines how many fortune tickets he gives you. I'm having difficulty speaking today. Now let's hope that this actually is not broken, because I don't want to have to do another impromptu bug fix for this. What was that? Why was she moving? I'm pretty sure she's not supposed to do that. Actually, I do remember. I vaguely remember this. I think I did something where, like, I couldn't get her dialogue tree to work right, maybe, and I had it to where she still does the walking around thing, and then you interact with her, and that sets the flag to do her post Zone 3 dialogue question stuff. I don't know if I did that for for post Zone 2 as well, but I do vaguely remember that I did this where she does walk around, and then you interact with her, and then nothing happens, and then you interact with her again, and that's what set the flag for her to stop walking around. I just completely forgot about that, and I thought that was a glitch. I forgot. But yay, her dialogue is not messed up. You can actually see what she has to say about the industry district and what she says about Zone 3 now in the red route, without having to go through the whole blue route, because I don't know what is up with Corrupt Enoch Switch. I didn't talk to Zachary, but his dialogue is basically the same. It's just like, oh, you unlocked the industry district. Basically, Zachary has no more original dialogue because the zones are done.